Good morning, Aman. Good morning, everybody. Well, the movement of yesterday does not really, become too encouraging, considering the fact that the index opened with a downside gap and then could not recover at all. Then today morning's SGX is indicating that there is some attempt to repair the damage which was sought to be created yesterday. Now, what is really required here is for the Nifty at the spot level to go up above something like 11,360, which seems possible given the levels of SGX. But then the key is to continue up from there, because the gap which has got formed is between something like 11,360 to almost still about 11,400. I think that's the first order of business for the Nifty if it wants to revise and continue with the ongoing uptrend. So today's important price zone for the Nifty, as it were, is between 11,360 and 11,400, and only a recapture of the territory above 11,400 can reset the ticker back to bullishness. That said, it'll require a break below something like 11,250 to turn the at least a micro term meter to the downside, and for bears to get a little bit of little bit of advantage, let's say that way. But that does not mean that the bigger term trends get knocked out. So we have to give some room for that, and that will be a quite distance down. Option positions continue to indicate that 11,000, 11,100 level will be strongly defended, and therefore until that breaks we cannot really pronounce anything of a larger dimension in terms of the trend strength. That said, because of the gap down movement, etc., I would like to go with a slightly mixed bag of recommendation, one long, one short. For the long side, I am looking at IGL. Both the gas stocks, MGL and IGL, were seen to be in action yesterday, and IGL is the one I am picking. Stop loss 404, targeting about 420. I want to mix this up with a short call in Muthoot Finance, which had a spirited rally. The results came out, and after that the stock has shown itself to be a little bit weak. So sell with a stop loss at about 1200 for a target at 1160.
All right, IGL is a buy recommendation, Muthoot a sell call. Meantime, Kunal, what is it that you're factoring in for the markets? And I see you've got 2 buy recommendations this morning.
So yes, Avan, good morning first of all. So, I think what transpired in the last few days, what's actually been happening in the last few days is some sort of a shakeout which is happening, because, when you have such a kind of a ferocious up move, when all of a sudden there is a gap up, the Nifty consistently is breaking those, new swing highs. So it was 11,300 earlier, then 11,350, then 11,400 as well. And in that process as well, there is always, there's also a touch back towards, an intraday kind of a correction. So Bank Nifty was, I think a couple of days back, you'd seen more than a 750, 800 point drop. Yesterday, you saw both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty going through a sharp correction. So it's a shakeout which is happening, and I'm, certainly sure that, the next, maybe a week or two or there could be a bigger trend which could be emerging. Difficult to anticipate which side the trend could be. At least looking at the market inertia, the expectation is that the trend breakout should be on the upside. But then, difficult to again ascertain till when the shakeout could probably last for the indices. Nevertheless, I think because of this, high, octane range in the Nifty and this kind of volatility, I would expect that this choppiness could probably continue for some more time before we eventually see a start of a new trend. The focus is on mid-cap names, and which is where I've picked up the stocks as well. So I think a couple of stocks which I believe from a short-term view look very attractive, and in fact even these stocks did pretty well for themselves. Yesterday as well. Century Textile was one of the stock. I'd recommended this earlier as well. At 338, 339, the stock which closed yesterday. I believe it's an attractive buy. The FNO, I am sensing that it's still in the ban, for the for the stock. But on the cash front as well, I believe that the stock is nearing a very strong kind of a breakout. It's a swing breakout of multiple resistances above this 320, 335 zone. So Century Textile is a buy. Position targets of 370, stop loss at 315. And the second would be buy on Voltas. The stock did exceptionally well yesterday, closed almost at the highest point of the day, around the 670 odd mark. And I would expect that the momentum should be continuing for this stock as well, especially given the fact that the SGX Nifty showing some positive tick. So Bar and Voltas targets of 700, stop loss 650.